French master patissier Eric Lanlard has changed the face of British patisserie, earning himself a reputation for not only awe-inspiring cakes, but for a clientele that boasts the likes of Madonna, Elton John, and the Beckhams.
One of my competitors was on television the other day and just said, "We do cake for celebrities." And I said, "We do cake for everybody, including celebrities."
For the first time, he's going to share his tricks of the trade. This isn't just about puddings, it's about Glamour Puds. From I'm sorry to I love you, nothing says it quite like chocolate. So whether you're celebrating, commiserating, or just a chocoholic looking for your next fix, you're in the right place. Top patissier Eric Lanlard is the maestro when it comes to conducting the perfect chocolate performance. Coming up, a tart that's a work of art. Rich chocolate ganache infused with the flavours of the West Indies in a melt-in-the-mouth short-crust pastry case. Master patissier meets master chocolatier to make truffles, but will things go smoothly?
No lumps in the chocolate.
Sorry.
Oh!
Eric goes from student to teacher. It's cake, rattle and oh no, when he takes an eventful chocolate course.
Mind, you can't do that.
Plus wine-poached pears, chocolate mousse in a short crust pastry base. How to cook Tarte Bourguignonne without getting yourself into a stew. We have been consuming chocolate since 400 AD when the Mayans discovered the cocoa bean and used it to mix a potent chocolate drink. Our craving for the ultimate comfort food is as voracious as ever. Eric has come to pick the brains of master chocolatier Paul Young.
I need to know what's going on in the chocolate world on the other man, obviously.
Okay.
Because I know you're doing all this weird combination on flavours and you know what your customer like. And I just saw something.
This is the most important
Can I have
thing. No. This is the most important thing. This is the thing that people don't see very often, the pod, where the cocoa comes from. But
inside, yeah?
Are these. And if we break one open, just crack it open, that's the part that becomes chocolate, not this hard shell here. But this is where the flavour starts, and this is the bit that's ground down. It's really crunchy and really chocolatey, but without any sugar or anything. This is where it starts.
If you can tear yourself away from looking at all these chocolates, it's downstairs in the kitchen where the real magic happens.
OK, Eric, we're going to make a chocolate, a filled chocolate or a truffle or ganache.
OK.
But the first thing to do is to temper the chocolate to make a shell.
Tempering reduces the temperature of the chocolate and allows the crystals to be distributed and suspended evenly, which gives the finished product a glossy finish.
We test our chocolate the traditional way. We don't use digital thermometers.
You're using your lip?
Yeah.
Eric's painting the inside of his mould in powdered gold leaf. Then the Madagascan chocolate is poured into the moulds to first make the shell so it's thin and cracks in the mouth.
OK, so the ganache. This is one of our most famous ganaches, and it's quite unusual because it's made without any dairy. The classic mistake is everyone thinks you can't put water with chocolate because it'll just seize.
Yeah, that's
and it's right.
Always tell people, be careful, not putting in chocolate.
If I put 1 teaspoon of water in my vat of melted chocolate, it will seize together. Yeah. But in the right proportions, at the right temperature, you can actually emulsify them together to create a truffle.
Golden muscovado sugar is added to just boiled water and poured straight over the chocolate.
Doesn't look like there's quite a lot of water there. Is it more water than you would put cream?
There is, because with cream there's quite high fat content, and it makes it very silky with less cream. With this there is a lot of water, but what we don't want is for it to be very hard. And the great thing is there's no added fat. With double cream it can mix with the chocolate and split. So now the ganache is made, we need to let it cool down, because if we put this in the shell now, it would melt the shell.
Yes.
Once the ganache has cooled, the chocolates are filled. Then it's time to prepare some more tempered chocolate.
I'm not going to do this. You've seen me do it once.
Well, I'm going to have to do it.
You're going to do it.
Eric works his chocolate. Then, being a little overzealous, he nearly ruins all his hard work.
No lumps in the chocolate, please, Eric.
Sorry.
Oh!
Sorry.
finally, it's time to seal the truffles.
OK, Eric.
Moment of truth.
This is the best part. The chocolate set, and it will have shrunk away from the bottom of the chocolate.
And is it going to still come out well with all this chocolate in between?
It'll come out.
Yeah?
We hope.
We hope, OK.
So the thing is to give it a little twist, just around the edge. You can see it's very tiny, but you can see where it's shrunk away.
Yeah.
We're then going to turn the chocolate mould upside down and tap. There we go. So they'll come out looking beautiful. So if you want to present them on your slate, because I'm sure that you may want to take them.
I want to show the gang back at the kitchen what I've done. Yeah, but it's amazing how much I learn again. I have to say, I haven't done chocolate work for so many years, and the bonus is it doesn't have to be fattening. You know, we learned today that you can replace the cream with some water to get some delicious ganache. So what's the excuse? None, really.
So, with a head and stomach full of chocolate, Eric heads back to his South London kitchen. He's got an appointment with a spicy chocolate tart.
Chocolate is really everybody's favorite, and it's amazing how many combinations of what you can do with it, mixing it with fruit, nuts, or even spices. And it's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a spicy chocolate tart inspired by the West Indies. So to start, we're going to make a shortcrust pastry base, classic recipes, mixing some icing sugar with some softened unsalted butter and 2 egg yolks. And now some plain flour. And we're just gonna mix them together. And I think pastry is it's something you should fill with your hands. With a wooden spoon, you probably over mix it, or like this you can feel, if it's all the ingredients are incorporated. It should go in the fridge for at least half an hour. So we got one here. It's already been chilled, so ready to roll. Roll it gently. Always be gentle with pastry. The secret of rolling pastry is not to push it. It should be rolling on your worktop, really. That's why you put just a little bit of flour on it. Okay, so we're just going to lift the pastry to our ring. Just press it down. It's a very fragile pastry, but you can push it back together. So we're just going to prick it a bit with a fork to avoid to get, bumpy pastry. Well, the next stage is we're actually going to cook it blind, meaning cook it with no filling inside. So to avoid for the sides to come down or the bottom to rise too much, we're just going to cover it with baking paper, and we're going to add some baking beans to it, or anything quite heavy like rice or some chickpeas. So that go in our oven.
Whilst the pastry's cooking, Eric starts the chocolate filling, combining double cream with cinnamon, star anise, vanilla, nutmeg, sugar syrup, and then he brings it to a gentle simmer.
So our cream is well infused now, so I'm just going to pass it through a sieve. And the heat of the cream is going to melt the chocolate. And it's a Caribbean chocolate. Well, the cocoa bean comes from the Caribbean, from Trinidad and Tobago. It's almost acidic with the flavors. You don't want to be sweet, it's something that should be not sweet, because the decoration is going to be quite sweet with the nougatine. So I'm going to add some unsalted butter to it. Right, so now we're going to fill our pastry shell with our mixture. So that's going to go in the fridge to set, probably just like for 20 minutes or something like that.
Whilst it's chilling, you need to make a syrup. Take milk, butter, sugar syrup, caster sugar, and bring to the boil.
Here we are, so our syrup is ready now. And this is the kind of consistency we want, like a very thick syrup. So the next step is to pour our gruyere inside. Gruyere is actually cocoa beans. It's just like little chopped, pure cocoa beans. And it's quite bitter, but because of the sugar on the nougatine caramelized, it's going to be quite sweet. We're just going to pour over our nougatine. And that's going to go in a hot oven to caramelize. Right, so the tart now is out of the fridge. It's all set. And the nougatine, it's caramelized now. So I got a ring here, which is kind of the size of the tart. So I'm just going to roughly cut a disc of the nougatine. And I'm just going to go like this. I just love the taste of it, because it's pure cocoa. I mean, it's so bitter, but at the same time, the caramel gives the whole sweetness really work very well. Here we are, spicy chocolate tart, truly inspired by the West Indies.
Still ahead, Eric turns teacher. And we meet the woman who travelled from South Africa to spend the afternoon with him and lots of chocolate. Plus Tarte Bourguignonne, wine-poached pears in rich chocolate cream in a shortcrust pastry case. Finger-licking chocolate indulgence next on Glamour Puds.
I'm tongue-tied when you're around. I'm tongue-tied when you're around.
This edition of Glamour Puds is all about chocolate. Top patissier Eric Lanlard is the undisputed king when it comes to creating mouth-watering desserts, from the sublime to the ridiculously decadent. Coming up, Eric turns teacher when 5 chocoholics invade his cookery school. Plus Tarte Bourguignonne, luscious chocolate almond cream, and wine-poached pears baked in a short-crust pastry base. Based at his shop in Battersea, Eric runs courses in all forms of patisserie. Today, for the first time, he's running a one-day course in chocolate.
First of all, welcome, and welcome to Cake Boy and our little cookery class. So today the theme is chocolate, and we're going to do like a kind of gourmet tour of everything with chocolatier.
Well, we got a daughter who is a talented cook, and I always call her when I want to do something, and she gives me sort of advice on the telephone. It should really be the other way around, because I used to call my mother, but I have to call my daughter.
Claire wants to learn as much as she can today about chocolate for an important date in her diary.
Eric's such a fantastic cake maker, and it's my daughter's birthday next week, so it's an opportune time to learn how to make a really good cake.
Ricky is an actress and a model.
I think I'll be fine, because I've been cooking since I was about 10. And you know when other kids used to sort of collect like posters and stuff, I used to bake pies and try and cook for my mum and dad.
Glenda has come a long way, especially to meet Eric.
I have a very small cake shop in South Africa, in Johannesburg. I've come to work with Eric because I love the way he makes his cakes. I mean, the chocolate roses, for me, were just an inspiration on his Christmas cake last year.
They're starting with Eric's version of the Viennese classic Sachertorte. It's a Sacher and raspberry cake. The students start by taking pieces of crunchy dried pancake, mixing them with praline and milk chocolate to form the base. Then they turn their attention to the ganache, mixing cream with a good quality 70% dark chocolate. Eric likes his students to follow a recipe and help them out with problems as they arise.
The branch of your whisk.
Some problems are easier to solve than others.
It does help. It does help.
Chris, the least experienced cook on the course, is also in need of some advice. Though he's not getting it from Eric, he's getting it from his wife.
That's not good enough. It's like heating it straight away.
Yeah, but it's a big one.
Yeah, well, I didn't mind. You can't do that. There should be sugar and water. It doesn't look any sugar in it.
Okay, is this the one?
Problem,
So this is the one.
All the cream inside now.
Cream is whipped and added carefully to make a light mousse. A layer of chocolate sponge is added, more mousse, and then the raspberries. To hold its shape, the cake needs to be chilled, and then the blowtorch does its magic.
serve.
Amazing. Amazing.
Then a layer of chocolate ganache is carefully spread.
You can see why you have to pay a few bob for a cake.
And now this one should sort the men from the boys. It's time to decorate.
We can make a rose. Edible glitter.
Some try to emulate Eric's rose, while others go their own way. Everyone is delighted with their finished product. But Eric singles out one student for special praise.
After thinking a lot about it, I have to say, I think Chris deserves the gold star. Chin chin. Thank you, thank you.
My daughter now has a fantastic birthday cake.
My cake was amazing.
I haven't done anything like it. I enjoyed it tremendously.
I learned a lot. Yeah, I really did.
I didn't know he had hidden talent, so from now on he's going to do the puddings.
Eric leaves his students and heads home for yet more chocolate indulgence.
Another delicious chocolate recipe, a tarte bourguignonne. Not beef bourguignon, of course, tarte bourguignonne. It's made with pears poached in red wine, Burgundy wine, of course, like the name means it. And it's cooked in a chocolate frangipane. So I got a pastry shell here, uncooked. We're going to cook everything together this time, shortcrust pastry. And the next step is to make our chocolate frangipane. So that's a very classic recipe. We got some ground almond. And to that, I'm adding some caster sugar. And when you do some baking, always use caster sugar. Don't use granulated sugar because it takes ages to dissolve and it could be gritty. So I'm just mixing them a little bit. And to that, I'm going to add cocoa powder, pure cocoa powder. Don't even think about using hot chocolate mix or something like that. So we're going to mix them well together. And this recipe is a take on a very traditional recipe. It's called pear bordalou, it's pure almond cream with poached pears. So I just, added the chocolate and poached the pear in wine. And we're going to add some unsalted butter. And we're going to cream the whole thing together. You can use a mixer if you want to, but you have to be careful because cocoa powder do fly everywhere, so don't go too fast. So, gonna add the eggs. So we're just going to fill halfway through to our pastry shell. Okay, it is going to rise in the oven. Spoon it inside. That will do. So we're going to keep that aside and we're going to prepare the pears. So I'm using some pear Williams, sweet pears. We don't want them too ripe, but not too hard as well. We're going to poach them, so they're going to be softened. The ideal really is to try to do that the day before, so they're really soaked in the wine and they get the colors as well. We want them to be bright red to give the big contrast with our chocolate frangipane. And one thing I like to do is to keep the stalk out on the pears, so it look nice on the tart. It kind of look rustic. So they can all go there, and we're going to poach them now in the Burgundy wine.
Add caster sugar to good quality Burgundy wine. Add a cinnamon stick and your pears. Leave them to poach.
So we've got the pears here. We've been marinated overnight. So I'm going to slice them finely like this. I think you know, that's such a great combination. You know, the rich chocolate, the almond, the pears, and all the spices on the wine. I think it's, you know, it's a marriage made in heaven. Few flaked almond on the edges like that, just to give a nice finish. On, you know, those one are uncooked. They will get, they will roast in the oven as the tart cook. Here we are. Look how lovely is this. Bright colors, and the smell is just amazing. Perfect, perfect. So we're just going to loose it up with a knife to make sure we can release the ring without breaking the pastry. And just before I do that, I'm going to brush it with some sift apricot jam, hot apricot jam, just to give it a little professional touch. And there we are. And I'm going to, this is what it's called. Just et voilà, tarte bourguignonne, pear, wine, cinnamon, and of course chocolate. What more could you need?
Next time, an irresistible individual sticky toffee pudding served in a golden syrup tin. Eric takes to the water with rowers training for the London 2012 Olympics. Plus a cake inspired by one of Britain's favourite dishes, fish and chips. It's the best of British, next on Glamour Puds.
I'm tongue-tied.